so much great information here with Dr. Heydinger at Atlantic Health Systems, home of Atlantic Sports Health, here in Morristown, New Jersey. We are fired up and excited to talk about meal timing and all these important elements of performance and how you optimize performance. Not many people are talking about the timing of meals.
Extremely important.
Tell us why it's important.
So I think perhaps the most important meals are going to be that immediate pre and the immediate post-workout meal. The pre-workout meal in particular, timing is extremely important because you have to digest it in order for it to be readily available. At the same time, you don't want to take it in too early, digest those carbs, and then be using those carbs before the actual event. So a good recommendation that I tend to tell athletes to follow is try and time a good pre-workout meal about an hour ahead of time and see how you do. If you find yourself getting hungry right before the event, you ate too early. So push that timeline up a little bit, maybe consume it 45 minutes before exercise. If, however, you find yourself feeling full and like you're still digesting, maybe a little bit nauseous, you might need to bump that back a little bit and maybe consume it an hour and a half ahead of time. You really got to tinker with it a little bit to see what's most appropriate for you.
Right. And are you a believer in terms of, food allergies and understanding the importance of what an athlete is feeling after they eat certain foods? And then also when we talk about, timing, how about the day before, and knowing if you're going to have a long endurance-based activity like a football game, and if you're going both ways, or a soccer game where you need a lot of endurance, what's the importance of the day before and what should you be eating?
Yeah, so again, kind of touching on those carbs again, really in that more of that day ahead of time, focusing on those carbohydrates that have the fiber in there that help with the digestion. And the fiber also helps with gut health and maintaining healthy gut bacteria. But loading up those carbs in the long run stores up glycogen, which is the main muscle food source,
yep.
Right? So it's beyond important. When it comes to allergies, there's true allergy where you have a reaction, but there's also intolerance, right? So it's really listening to your body, seeing how your gut feels. So never trying a new food in that pre-workout period. Make sure you try it on, on a weekend or on a practice day where you can see how you feel so that you're not in a bad spot when it comes to actual competition.
That's why I mentioned it, and you said the right answer. Don't try something new on the day of a game, no. a new food source, because you never know how you're going to react. You might just get tired from it. You never know how that's going to respond. You also said an important point, how the liver stores glycogen. So when you take in these carbohydrates, the liver stores, somewhere between 300 to 500 calories of stored glycogen in your liver, where it feeds your muscles energy as you call upon it, as you go into that activity. So that's why the carbs are really important. The complex carbs, a bunch of hours before, 3, 4, 5 hours before, the day before, and then ultimately the day of competition, the simple carbs, an hour before. So really important. That can make a huge difference in athletic performance.
Without question. And then the post-workout period too, right? I think there's a lot of focus on protein post-workout, especially for your strength athletes. But everyone needs that carbohydrate source post-workout too to refuel all that glycogen and all the energy you just used. And that immediate post-workout period is when your body's really most capable to absorb as much as possible. So in that first 15 to 30 minutes after exercise, trying to get a simple carb in again to kind of refuel.
Yep.
Not a lot, see how you feel,
sure.
Right? And then in those first few hours post-exercise, supplementing with a small amount of carbohydrate as well as a good protein source.
So important. Guys, don't overdo the protein. Focus on the carbs with protein, and obviously quality fats as well to give you that satiety, because that's an energy source as well. 100%. So it's all about balance and not overdoing one thing.